If you have leaves in your yard, don't waste your time raking them this year and do this instead. I promise you it is so worth it, and it's actually less effort than raking leaves. So what I like to do is take out our lawnmower that has a collection bag on the back of it, and we just go over and mow up all of the leaves. And what that does is it breaks up the leaves into a little bit smaller chunks if you have large leaves. Otherwise, it just kind of vacuums them all up. And then take them over to your prepped garden beds, which I will also do in today's video, and dump your leaf litter on top of your garden beds and spread it out just like you would a mulch. So I like to aim for about a 3 to 6 inch layer of leaf litter in each of my garden beds, and then you just leave it be. And over winter, what this is going to do is your leaves are going to break down, and it's going to provide some of the most amazing organic material for your garden bed. Our soil has been completely turned around from very dry and dead looking to some of the most organic and lush, amazing garden soil that I've seen. And I think it's pretty much just due to this leaf litter. In the spring, you will see that it has broken down, at least for the most part, into some really amazing stuff. If it hasn't, you have two options. You can either amend it back into the soil just with a shovel and kind of mix it up a little bit, or you can use it as a mulch, which is what I liked to do. And it's not going to be as fluffy as this. It's going to be actually pretty flat, but you just make a little section hole of where you want to plant your starter plant, say a tomato or a pepper, dig your hole underneath of it, and all of the leaves that are going to be around that are going to act as a mulch, which is going to be helpful for a weed barrier and also keeping the water in and water retention. So you won't have to water your plants as much. So amazing, great benefits. But also the third and maybe one of the most important things about the leaf litter, benefits of it, is that beneficial bugs like to bunker down in leaf litter over winter. So if you want to have lots of ladybugs come spring, make sure that you have at least a good section of leaf litter for those bugs to find and to get through the winter in. So today I want to kind of walk through what I'm going to be doing in my fall garden with you, but this is one of the most important things that I can stress and easiest for making sure that your garden is successful the next year. And so you take nothing else away from this video, try mulching your leaves up with the lawnmower and dumping them in your garden beds. I think your garden will thank you next year. So otherwise, if you want to see some other fall maintenance, stick around and I will show you the 3 things that I do to kind of prep for the fall and winter months and set up myself for success in the spring. A great place to start is if there are any seeds that you would like to save from your garden, you can do that now. These are my zinnias, and if you're trying to save some zinnia seeds, you're looking for these little arrowheads. So you just want to pull the dead petals back and find these little arrowheads, and you can kind of remove the petal if you want for storage, but that's going to be your seed. They should be dull gray, black, but very easy to save and pull out. I also have a ton of purple beans on the vine. You can hear they're very dried up and crunchy. I will show you. It's as simple as that. You should have some dried beans to plant next spring. In terms of removing the plants, it will be easiest if you do this kind of right after it rains a little bit. You don't want the ground soaking wet and super muddy because it'll make the dirt really heavy, but rain will kind of loosen up the soil for you a little bit. So especially if you haven't been watering, if you can wait until after a little bit of rain, it makes pulling up the plants a lot easier. I do have a few extra tomatoes that are obviously disgusting and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to throw them over the fence for the deer. Now I obviously have a lot of grass in this bed. I'm honestly not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to kind of get the biggest chunks out, and then I'll probably kind of worry about the grass come springtime. I'm just trying to get everything kind of flat today. All right, now this is where I'm leaving this bed. In terms of raspberry bushes, this is my gorgeous raspberry patch. I'm going to be leaving this alone. I'm not even going to do anything to it. I'm not going to touch it. If there's shoots that you can tell that are still green, like we have little ones all around, you could transplant them. For me, it's a little bit late in my zone 5. Personally, I would have been best to do it last month, but I'm just going to be leaving these. A lot of people like to trim them back in the fall. I personally like to do it in the spring because you can really tell which ones are dead and which ones can be cleared out once the leaves start to pop. So I'll include a video to the link. I'll include a link to the video of what I'm talking about because I did this last spring and made a video on it. But you can kind of just leave these alone. Don't bother doing this now. It's a lot easier in the spring. Now, if you can get your bed to this would be the most ideal. This one was really easy to weed, so I just went ahead and did it. But if you can't get it to this point, don't worry about it. So I've been doing this leaf mulching for the past few years we've lived here. Look at how just awesome this dirt is. It is so rich and full of organic material. There are always hundreds of worms in here, and it's just the best. The leaves just kind of start breaking down. You get leaf mold, which is awesome for the dirt too. And we're gonna cut it up really fine with the lawnmower so that it breaks down so much easier. But this stuff is just amazing. It has completely turned around from where we started with this garden bed. This garden soil was so just void of life. Yeah, get to the middle. What's the tomatoes? Now we have all of this awesome cut up leaves, not to mention that the vacuum that you have on your mower or like the leaf collector will just pick up the smaller leaves too, and you can all just kind of put all the leaf litter in here. But having it mulched up into tinier pieces makes it kind of start the process to breaking down a little easier. And with the snow, this will just turn so beautiful. So I like to come in here, we like to just pile it pretty high, and I kind of aim for maybe about a 3-inch top of mulch over all of the beds, just because it will get really compacted during the winter. But this is essentially all you do. If there's some grass clippings in here, that's totally fine as well. But I'm going to come through and just kind of stomp it down, spread it out, make sure it's kind of all in every nook and corner of the garden bed. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that you found this video helpful in preparing your garden for the winter months, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.